Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. We are almost to June 1st. I can't even believe this, halfway through 2021. Nicole obviously is joining us for this month's mortgage and real estate market update. Nicole, how is your May going?
It's May already and it's almost June. This year is flying by. I think last year didn't end, right? I mean, the calendar kept going as far as the real estate market was concerned.
Right.
So it's a little exhausting, but the real estate market's still on fire.
It is. And I was reading, we were talking the other day and I was reading one of your newsletters. There was a quote that kind of stuck out because us as in the mortgage business and in the real estate business, it's kind of thinking outside of the box, but it's also in the fact that we have to think of what we can do with the box versus thinking outside of it, because we have this market. We have this crazy market right now. So many buyers are looking to get a house that we still have this inventory, low numbers in inventory, I should say, that it's just hurting these buyers out there. So there's something that, you have talked about before that I want to bring up with said buyers who are struggling in this market, a term like appraisal gap insurance. Can you talk a little bit about that kind of strategy that might be able to help some buyers?
Absolutely. And so appraisal gap insurance is a coined term that I've heard bantered about with a couple of different lenders. Now, I will say it's not insurance. It's more of a marketing take on an old solution. And the solution is about capitalizing on mortgage insurance. So to play it really easy, I would say that if you were coming into a purchase, say a $600,000 purchase, and you were planning on putting 20% down. So that would allow you to do an 80% loan to value, no mortgage insurance. You know what your loan amount is, you know what your down payment is, you know what your closing costs are. Everything is kind of dialed in. But then the thing happens where the appraisal comes in, and the appraisal doesn't come in at 600, it comes in at 580 or 575. And when that happens, all of a sudden there's this dread of how do we deal with this? How do we deal with this low appraisal, especially today, because maybe that original list price was like 525 and you went 75 over, which is not unheard of. You offered 600, 75 over, and you did an appraisal gap. And now you're questioning, did I do the right thing? Was that too much? How do I handle this? And dang it, I overpaid. All of this is going on in your head. But ultimately, you want to get to the closing table. You're just not sure of the path. Well, the mortgage insurance factor is this little slider that is underneath the numbers that you know to be true. So if I know that I'm putting 20% down, which is $120,000 on a $600,000 purchase price, and the rest of that is going to be in the loan, I could tell you right now that I can keep your down payment, your cash in at the 120. Let's just leave that there, plus closing costs. So let's leave that there. And the 480 is your loan amount. And so if I leave those two buckets alone, 480 loan amount, 120 cash in, plus closing costs, I'm leaving that separate. So then if the appraisal came in low, all of a sudden that is no longer a 20% down situation. Now it's more like a 15% down or 12% down, all things considered, when I look at it based on the appraised value. Well, if I can use mortgage insurance, then I can capitalize on leaving those two buckets the same. So now all of a sudden it's no longer 20% down. So now I need mortgage insurance. I can have a conversation with the buyer, the seller, the buyer's agent, the listing agent, and say, what if we had a single premium MI mortgage insurance? And it was just $2,000 or $3,000 instead of $25,000 that the appraisal came in short. Or what if I did a split mortgage insurance where I paid maybe $1,500 up front and I paid $15 or let's say $30 a month in mortgage insurance? Or what if I just threw mortgage insurance in there altogether? Maybe it's $35 or $40 a month in mortgage insurance. These are all numbers that can be negotiated, but the bottom line is I can leave my $120,000 bucket the same. I can leave the $480,000 bucket the same. And I can use mortgage insurance when that loan to value changes. So the bottom line is I can get to the closing table with the same amount of cash out of pocket.
Wow. I mean, that just shows how important it is to work with you, Nicole, to just have that education behind you, to be creative when it comes to the board. Because as you've seen, as I've seen, when I'm taking buyers out and these homes are going 100, 150, $100,000 over list price. And a lot of these buyers are wondering, how am I going to make it all work? And so it's really great that you have this, like you said, this tool that could be used to hopefully get that buyer to the closing table. And speaking of that, I mean, speaking of the numbers and all that stuff, I just pulled some numbers right now. And in all of the city of Denver, there's only 838 active listings right now as of this conversation. So that's all single family homes, that's all condos, that's townhomes just in the city of Denver. And that ranges from 21.5 million to 140,000. So there's still some great properties out there for under 200,000 if you're looking for an investment property. But yeah, just staggering numbers still. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. I'm talking to past clients. I have an investment property I might be putting on the market this summer just to help out this inventory shortage and this crisis, because these buyers are just desperate for homes, right?
Well, of course it's Monday, right? And so there's
Right.
a lot of activity this weekend. I certainly felt it. And those first-time home buyers that are itching to get in, as you mentioned, and the inventory is there, it's coming online, but we have such a competitive, aggressive demand that it's scooping it up as quickly as it comes out. I mean, our average days on market right now is 4 days. That's one weekend is what that is. So
Yeah.
you got to stay in the game and get in there every single weekend looking for the new set of properties that are coming online. And it started at the very beginning of the year and it hasn't let up.
It has not. And to your point, we only talk on this call once a month that's recorded. However, in the last couple of weeks, I did a story actually for CBS Denver here locally, talking to that point. And the reporter I was speaking to just could not fathom, A, the low numbers, but B, how homes are going off the market within days. And honestly, I have a listing in Castle Rock that's closing this week. And it went in a coming soon status on our local MLS, RE Colorado, and it went under contract before we even went on the market. So a buyer's agent saw it in the coming soon status, and his buyers were so aggressive, they gave us a cash offer over asking, no inspection, not that I would ever recommend that to a buyer, but no inspection, no appraisal, closing in 3 weeks. So, I mean, and then, I felt so bad though for the other buyers out there because, you know, obviously, as we all know, when an offer hits the table firm, I have to present it to my client, and she decided to take it, which is great for her. You know, she saved on the convenience, and she said, you know what, I don't want to do showings. This is great. Let's just take it. And I said, great. However, all these buyers over here in the waiting pool were waiting for it to go on the market, active, like ready to go for showings and stuff like that. So the phone calls I felt when it went under contract, and from the agents I heard from, I mean, I just felt so bad. I wish I had more listings to give to these people. But another thing of why everyone asks, well, where are these people coming? Why do we have so many buyers? Where are they coming from? And I actually, not only was I on CBS Denver just a couple of weeks ago, was actually on HGTV this weekend on a brand new show called Happily Wherever. And the premise of that show is showing couples that now, because of COVID, they're working from home permanently, or maybe they had a job change that they're working from home permanently. They're thinking, well, wait, if I don't have to go to the office in San Francisco, and if I can work from home, why don't I take that job and live in Colorado or live in Texas or live in Florida, you know, maybe closer to family, maybe where I want to live. So there's 8 episodes of this series that's airing right now on HGTV, and it follows these couples. The first episode, I think, the couple was in Cincinnati, possibly thinking about moving to Orlando. The couple I met with are from LA, and they're thinking about moving to Colorado. So if you haven't catch that on HGTV this weekend, make sure to tune in for that too.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I know that you're just an incredible wealth of information for your buyers. You study the market, and being able to give them that really in-depth awareness of what we're experiencing here is different than what they're experiencing in California, in Chicago, on the East Coast. And we're seeing a lot of that net population gain is still coming in. I mean, Colorado is number 2 on the millennial net population gain for 2021. Denver is number 1 when ranked up against other cities. We are certainly seeing that. That's going to continue to excite the buyer pool. It's going to continue to strain the inventory that we have. The builders can't keep up with the rise that we've seen in wood and steel and other sheet goods. So those raw materials are not stopping builders from building, but they're having to elevate their prices. So it's still constantly that contraction or that pressure on those first-time home buyers and those lower price points, why that appraisal gap insurance, if you will, is also helpful because it means even if you're putting 3% down or 5% down, you have options. So people are like, well, I don't have 20% down. I know first-time homebuyers, they might have gotten a gift from their parents
Right.
for 40,000 or 50,000, and the parent said, that's all I've got. Well, we can slide that so that it was 10%, but now it's 5 or it's 3% down compared to the appraised value. So don't give up, even as a first-time home buyer, even if your funds are limited, have the conversations because the homes are coming on. They're just leaving quickly and you've got to be prepared.
Right. So anyone who is watching, who's thinking, if they're your first time home buyer or a seasoned buyer, if you need to have a creative conversation with Nicole, her number will be below, her email will be below. Just give her team a call. They will help you out. And lastly, just real quick, how are mortgage rates doing? We going up? We going down?
Right. So mortgage rates are primed to go up. Now, as of the last report, and Freddie Mac does a report weekly, and it lags a little, and it showed that they were flat. In fact, it went down by 0.02. So it was 2.96 to 2.94, but that didn't take into account what happened afterwards, what happened on Friday. And then what's starting to happen, we had all the inflation numbers all last week. I mean, last week was a huge week for inflation. So we're waiting to see what those do. What we're seeing is kind of this inching up. It's not fast. There's still so much time. I'm telling all of my refinance opportunities, get in now because you already missed the bottom. Don't miss this level as well. So absolutely, we're going to see with all the inflation numbers, we're going to see rates go up this summer. They might pull back slightly in the fall when we see inflation dip a little bit, and then on to a longer term upward trajectory. We're expecting 4% next year, 5% in 2024. So really take advantage of the low rates that we have today for sure.
Absolutely. And for those out there thinking that home prices are high now, I mean, look at what a year did from March of 2020 to March of 2021 with COVID, and the home prices just skyrocketed. So I'll let you go. I know you're super busy, but thank you so much again for all your wealth of information. And again, I will have all of Nicole's contact information below for anyone who wants to have a chat with her. Maybe they're looking to get pre-approved or, like you said, refinance. So I'll have everyone give you a call. And if anyone wants to go look at some homes and get into that first time home, or maybe if you're a seasoned buyer, want to buy your second home or third home or fourth home, give me a call. My number will be below. Thanks, Nicole. We'll see you next month.
You bet. Bye-bye.